Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Studio Insights. In Studio Insights, it's an opportunity for us as a team to ask each other questions, learn from each other, and improve what we do as practitioners. So we're super excited to learn from each other and share some value through this episode. Before we get into the episode, I just wanted to remind you that we have a human-centered design cohort. It is epic. We have got such incredible feedback from it, and people have just had such great outcomes with their projects. And basically what it is it enables you to learn our human-centered design process and apply it to your own projects through a playbook, watching videos, attending group coaching, attending personal coaching, and basically getting all the activities that we use so you can apply it to your own project. So it's a really epic experience. And if you're interested, check it out in the link below. For now, we'll get into the episode. Victoria, you can ask the first question.
Right, my question is for Hannah. So you've been developing a checklist recently for the team to use.
You've stolen my question, I reckon. It's all right, I had a backup just in case.
I'm not very good at asking them, so you'll probably have a better one. But again, it's like a mishmash of questions and words I've tried to put together. But I want to know, first of all, like what your process has been to actually make the checklist, and also what you've done to make sure that the checklist is actually going to be like practical and useful for all of us, because I know there's a lot of stuff that needs to go in it. And I feel like all my questions relate to being like overwhelmed, but like how are you going to do it so that when you give it to Kim and I, we're not going to be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. So the first step was, so you and I have been keeping a list of things that we've learned over the years, so relevant to all different topics. So the first thing I did was I got both of our lists and made sure I had all of the information from both lists in one place so I could see exactly what we were dealing with. And then what I've been doing is separating it into different tasks. So there's like, at the moment, there's a table for developing, there's a table for QAing, and I'm about to do more tables. So there'll be like a table for project management, accessibility, those sorts of things. And I am still in the process of it, so it could potentially change, but I'm thinking at the moment there's subheadings for each table, and those subheadings are in alphabetical order. So for example, for development, also for example for QA, there's like a subheading for grammar and punctuation, and then when you like within that subheading, it's everything to do with grammar and punctuation. And then there'll be like another subheading, and then there's everything to do with that. And each thing below the subheading has like a little check mark on the right. So you can go through, you can save a copy of it and basically check off that you've covered or at least thought of everything in the list. And that's sort of where I'm at the moment. So it's just bringing, and I guess the other thing is like turning it into an action. So rather than having like a sentence that's quite like ambiguous or like talks about an idea, I've made sure that I've been really clear on what's the actual action that we would need to take to cover that thing. So I have changed some of the things in our list that we've learned into like specific actions that we need to take, and sometimes broken it up into separate things if there's like more than one step to do it. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at the moment.
Can I ask with that, because that's just made me think of something, the alphabetical order thing. Why did you decide to do alphabetical order? Because I'm thinking, I know with the, you probably would have like seen it in some of my lists. They might not like look like they're in an order, but it's the order that I've found works for whatever I'm checking. So for an example, like when I'm developing, there's certain things I don't check till the very end of my development. Like I'll look for double spaces or things like that, because they could have popped up at like any time of me working on it. Whereas other things like, I don't know if this is the best example, but maybe like slide properties, because they could potentially change later. But like the slide properties, I'll do that at the beginning so that it's like set up. If I copy that slide, it's already done. But that might not necessarily be the order, like an alphabetical order thing. Did you?
Yeah, well, that is a good point. I did it in alphabetical order. So like if you were thinking, okay, I'm doing the player next, or I'm doing accessibility next, or I'm checking grammar next, you'd be like, okay, grammar, and then you'd be able to like scroll down and find where it is in the list. But it's definitely still a draft form, so potentially doing it in order could be better, I'm thinking. Like it's not finalized yet. That's just how I've sort of started setting it up.
Yeah.
So that's good user feedback. That could potentially be a better way of doing it.
Well, yeah, I'm just thinking from what even you've just said then, like if people think, oh, I'm doing grammar next, or if I'm doing this next, like if it's a process that they're not familiar with or don't do that often, they might not know what they're doing next, and they would just follow it in order, and then they might have to like redo steps because they might not realize like, oh, I'm going to have to check that again.
Yeah. I actually think it should be in order of the task. I'd have to have a look at the checklist to see like the specific actions and how that would work, like whether it is in a specific order. But yeah, I can definitely do that. It's still draft, so I hadn't fully got to the stage of like organizing it 100%. So
yeah. No, well, something to think
that's
about.
Good. Thank you. That's good.
And
feedback.
I guess even with that, some things you might like, there are things that you might have to check them 2 or 3 times, like even spaces. Sometimes I'll do it once I first put like all the content in, because then I'm like, I could format this screen, make sure there's no orphans and all that, and then check for double spaces at the end, and I'm like reworking stuff I've already fixed. So I feel like some things might come up multiple times anyway, but
no, you're right. I think that's really good. Yeah. That's cool.
But no, that's a good process. I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really useful, like going through all the stuff that we've learned. Like there is a lot of things, and it's just made me realize like how much stuff, if we don't have a checklist, you have to keep in your head. Like there is like so many, and it's not just like things that were in our, because we do have like a QA checklist now where it's like tells us exactly what we should be looking for. It's things like outside of that that weren't in our QA checklist that are like other things we need to do within the file that like is so important to check. So it's like, I think it's going to be like so much easier for us to have a full list of everything there. And I really do like that order thing, like doing it in the order of the task. So I think that's going to make it really good too.
Expanding on that idea there around the order of the task, it's making me think, I wonder if it could be mapped to or informed by our project management plan, because we spend a lot of time getting that template into the right order, and then you would be able to figure out like at round 1 of storyboard, grammar and punctuation or whatever is checked, but it's also done again at round 2. So potentially it's linked or mapped to that, so that we know we're in this part of the project, this is my specific task, and these are the guidelines and I don't know, tips around this. Might be something to consider.
Yeah, that is good too. Yeah, awesome. I'm actually working on that after this, so this is perfect timing. All right, cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, good question. You helped me as well.
Gotta make sure you do it right before I get it.
Get it right or don't hand it over at all. You can keep it in your head, Vic, if you don't like it. Good luck.
I'll have my own special checklist.
No. I'll have a secret one anyway. You'll be like, nah, I like that. I'm going to try really hard, Vic, to make it really good.
Perfection will never really come. Perfection doesn't exist, if we just remember that. But if we're making what we do is iterative and we improve upon it, because it's human-centered, so you're going to give it to us, we're going to give you feedback, you're going to make it better. So I would expect that kind of compassion towards things I hand to you guys. So I'm willing to know that what you send is a work in progress, and if you put that in the email subject anyway, you have that excuse.
I just think like it's a hard job though.
Feedback. Sorry.
It's like a hard job though to get something together that like will work for how all of us work, because I'm like I do already have checklists I use. Mine's just a shitty one. Like for each project I just have like a Word thing,
Mm.
and I make a list and like add to it as I think of things. So this will be good because it will.
Yeah.
Well, I'm imagining a lot of it would be there already. Well, hopefully you'll have more because I have missed stuff in mind. But yeah, like it's hard if like someone gives you something that's not, like set out how it works.
How you would do it.
You won't use it because it doesn't like sit right with you.
Doesn't add value to your life.
Yeah. Even though it could be amazing, it's like that's not how I work. So
yeah. Yeah, well, that is a good point. It's got to be human-centered. It has to be working for all of us. I'll try and consider all of our different preferences and incorporate it in the checklist. Not too detailed.
I think you two are the extreme. So at least you're setting the benchmark and I'll have less expectations on it. So whereas if I was doing it, you'd be like, that's probably 10% of what I would have created.
Yeah, so you can probably not use it. She'll be like, what the hell is all that?
No, I will, because at the moment, yeah. But then I can't wait to release it into not being in my head anymore.
Yeah, definitely. It was interesting too, like figuring out, because originally like things were under certain headings and the checklist I had. And then when I like got everything out of the headings to try and like organize it, I was like, so many things are relevant to different types of things. So like some tasks sit in like multiple different headings. So it's been really good to like not just have like, okay, this task I've just got it under development, but when you think about it, like it actually has to happen in the QA as well. So I think it'd be nice to have whatever task you're doing, like it covers everything. You don't have to try and think. Like I wonder if that was done in development, like what did they do? You can like you just have it all there.
Yeah.
When is it coming? Now I'm like, I want it.
Look, I've got a lot on, so it could be a couple of months. 1 month.
We don't have time. I don't have what do you call it? Like emotional capacity or mental resilience for it not to exist.
Well, I think my due date was close of business tomorrow, so that is when you'll get it, because I always keep my promises.
Excellent. Because now I know all the listeners are like, this sounds so amazing. It's probably going to appear on the Creator Hub. But just so you know, people, we're very busy with client things, so new products are on hold for now. And you could let us know how much you would pay for this product, and we'll let you know. Because if you say $10,000, maybe we'll just pop it up tomorrow and give away our weekend so we can have that money.
It will be life-changing. It's going to be insane.
I am feeling that. I can't wait.
Oh, God, the pressure's high now. I'm going to get onto it after this.
You said that.
All right. Well, that was great. Kim, what's your question?
Okay. I will go something completely different. I have had a backup just in case that was going to be one of your questions. When it comes to authenticity in a human being, what specific behaviors do they demonstrate that shows to you that they are being their authentic self? So what specifically would you see them do if they were being their authentic selves?
I think I don't really know the exact behaviors, but I feel like they'd come across more comfortable and like relaxed. Like they wouldn't, I don't know, wouldn't seem like shifty or
Jeez.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what it would actually look
like,
what you mean. But I don't know. I think you can just like tell when someone is comfortable or if they're like really nervous and trying to put on like a front or something.
Fake laughing, I feel like you can always pick up on that one. I know when you do it, Vic. I did it.
I would never. Only while I'm being paid.
You got to do what you got to do for $1.
Outside of work hours, there's no fake laughing.
This is what my money is going into.
It's not for you, Kim. It's all I have to deal with Hannah.
I don't pay you to fake laugh at her. Her self-esteem. I fucking invest enough into that.
Oh, such mean. I find that hard because I feel like everyone's authentic self is different.
That's okay. That's what I'm just looking. I'm not looking for a right or wrong. I'm just looking for what do you notice that demonstrates that person is being their authentic self.
I think that's what it is though. Like carrying on from that.
Yeah.
It's like they act the same all the time. Like it's like a consistent way of being. Because like some people are really quiet and like they might have like a body language where they're withdrawn or whatever, but potentially that is just them and that is how they like behave as a human being. So I think it's like, if like someone might look nervous, but if they're like that all the time in all situations, like it probably is just them being authentic. It's just how they are. So I think I notice when people are not authentic when I know them well and they're acting different to their usual behavior, I would say. So I think it's easier if you know the person as to whether they're being authentic or not. Like sometimes you might pick up on red flags with new people where you're like, I don't think they're being authentic, but I don't think you can actually ever know until you see them over multiple occasions, personally.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that is kind of what I meant about the shifty thing, but I didn't explain that part of it.
No,
but
yeah.
If they're normally like chill and then all of a sudden they're like shifty or whatever, so I'm like, that's not their authentic self.
Yeah. Like if they're always shifty, they're probably just a shifty person.
Who are you guys hanging out with?
Like my leg jig does not stop. No matter what situation I'm in. I'll be doing it on the couch at home.
Okay, think of someone that you think is their authentic self the majority of the time. You got one in mind?
Looking right at
her. Now we're like, which one is she talking to? That person, what specific behaviors would you see them do to know that they're their authentic self?
Stopping to think things through, like how they want to respond, which could go either way actually, but I feel like a lot of people who are authentic, they like think about what they want to say. They don't just say what they think other people want them to hear. Say.
Yeah, see, that's funny because I think of that like the opposite way and think like they just say what they think without even thinking like, I need to pause and think if it's what someone else wants to hear. Like they just let it out.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it could go either way, I guess. I think they're like honest, like brutally honest. Like they just say exactly what they think.
Is that's what Vic means, is it?
No, I wasn't so much coming from like a honesty or like a brutally honest point, but more just they don't like overthink things before they say it, trying to like say the right thing. Like they just say what comes to mind sort of. And they're not worried about like, what other people are thinking. I feel like this conversation is confusing me.
Well, it's a hard one. It's almost like a vibe or an aura around people. So sometimes it's hard to explain it, I feel, personally. Because some people might take a while to think of something because they're like, I want to say what's right for me. And they're like, they don't care if people have to wait for them because they're like, I'm thinking through what's right for me.
Yeah.
But then other people, like, they do just say what they think because it's like right there and they're being authentic too.
Yeah. Well, I think it is really, I feel like it does just come down to, are they like that all the time or are they acting differently in this different situation?
Yeah.
And why? Like, Is it related
Yeah.
specifically to that situation?
I think like they'd tell
different
you
questions.
What's that?
Can you ask different questions? I'm stuck. How do you say what you're going to say?
I think they'd tell you like what they really think about things. Like, oh, sorry, we said that. Let me explain it further. Like if they, for example, if you ask them to do something and they didn't want to do it, they wouldn't just be like, yeah, like I'll do that. That sounds awesome. They'd be like, I don't want to do that, but like I'm willing to do it. Like that's being honest and being yourself. You're not like pretending to be excited for something you don't want to do.
Was that directed at me?
I was going to say, you're really good at that bit. You'll be like, I really don't want to do it, but fine, I'll do it.
Okay, what would be a tip you would provide to help someone be more their authentic self in more situations?
Stop worrying about other people and their like expectations and what they want from you. Find out what's important.
Oh, sorry.
All right, I can't see you, Vic. You go first.
Just swipe your thing across, then you see both of us.
You tech.
No, you go.
Tech
You weren't finished. Keep going. I didn't know if you were still thinking or not.
No, you go. Sorry, I was just saying you're real techie.
Spit it out. Spit it out. Finish your
I
train.
can't remember now. I can't remember.
Well, mine is the thought I had is confusing me anyway, so I might need your guys' help to process it. But like for me in work situations, I find it easier to be myself in things I would otherwise find like a bit stressful or I'd get nervous for, like client meetings, because I know that like you both have accepted me for my authentic self, and like you, Kim, like you're a big supporter and like you want us to just like be ourselves no matter what situation we're in. Like we don't have to act, you don't like want us to act different or act more professional or more formal or anything. So like the fact that you guys are like that, when I'm in situations where previously I might have been like, oh, I've got to like act a bit more professional and fully form a thought before I say it, like your support in that way helps me be my authentic self more, because I know that like you've accepted that and you're happy for me to be like that with clients or with whoever I deal with. Whereas I guess sometimes if you're surrounded by people who are like, you can't say that, you can't act like that, that can stop you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's pretty cool. So promoting the freedom to be you has allowed like, that for you.
Yeah, if you're like surrounded by the right people who want that as well, it helps. Whereas if you were both like, every time you met with a client, you like put on a suit or something and like I don't, just like that like extra corporate level, like if you were like that, I'd feel pressured to be like that, even though that's not me authentically and not really you guys either. But
put
being
on
around
a
people like that, you have the freedom. Well, I don't know, you'd probably do it.
Yeah, I would. I feel like that is my authentic self. Who am I?
Oh God.
We've dragged you down to
suit.
We've made you an everyday jean wearing person.
I know. The amount of people, like, I'll be chilling out and wearing jeans and they're like, oh, like, aren't you uncomfortable wearing jeans? Why would you wear jeans? And I'm like, I love wearing jeans. They're so comfortable. Leave me alone. So I do love jeans now.
Okay, any final tips to help others be their authentic selves in more situations?
I think
Might be
also,
oh God.
What is happening today? Okay, well, Hannah's proven that she's likely to forget her point, so let her go first, and then Vic, if you can wrap it up. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh God, I thought I forgot it then, but it's come back. I think also, like, when people give you feedback, to not take it as like definite, to take it as like optional. Like, I've seen Instagram pictures and quotes and things where it's like, if you get feedback, just take it as that, and you decide whether you want to do something with it or not. It's not like, I have to change now because this person said this. It's like they've said that, and just like taking the time to process and think, is that right for me? Is that actually going to add value to my life? And if not, like, you don't have to change it.
That's cool.
Vic?
What I was thinking, sort of, it's about changing yourself, but in like the opposite way. Because I was going to say, like, I think it's easier to be your authentic self if you're like happy and like confident with yourself. Like, you'll feel less, I think you feel less pressured to like act different if you know, like, this is who I am and like this is what I have to say and all that sort of stuff. So like, if you struggle to be your authentic self, it might be because you're not happy with some parts. So it's either like you accept that as being you, or like do something to change it so that you can do it like unapologetically, kind of thing. That's so maybe cool. Take the feedback if you don't like it. If it's something you don't like about yourself and you're not happy with, and someone gives you feedback, like, take it and change it, because then you can be that person authentically. Or just brush it off and keep doing what you're doing.
That's cool.
Thank you. Okay, I really like those tips that you guys shared. So yeah, thank you for that. And I hope the people listening and watching pick one of them, experiment with it if you feel like you need to improve your authentic self resonance. I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Good question, Kim. That was an interesting one. I liked it. All right. The last question is me. So I'm coming into some instructional design work soon. So we've got a project where I'll be completing instructional design. So what I'm looking for is some inspiration and just like understanding of how I can produce better outputs. So it's a question for both of you, and it has two parts. So the first one is, what's your favorite book that you've ever read and why?
You should have asked me this before.
Oh, well.
Can I just oh no, I don't even want to. Sorry, a few thoughts flew around my head at the same time. They're incomplete sentences. It's what you got. Can I just say like a book that I've read, and then like, or just things that I've liked about books that I read? Because I have a few going. Like, I don't think the book is really relevant, is it? You're not going to go read all the books, but you want to know why it's resonating, why it might be a favorite one.
Because like, usually when something's your favorite, there's like reasons behind why it got you so interested. So I just want to understand like practical things I could do in my writing to replicate that.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely for me, I think I'm just thinking of recent books that I have read. The common thing that stood out on why they've resonated is because I see myself in the character. I see an aspect of their life or their journey or their pursuits or how they respond in certain situations from a values perspective in their story. The two books that are coming to mind are, what do you call them? Autobiographies. So there's that.
Who's favorite?
Who did you relate with, Kim?
A leader and a musician.
I know the leader, and I don't know why you're not sharing it.
Are they inspiring?
Yes. To be their authentic self, pursue passion, all those things which are important to me. Yes. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I can pause and give Vic the opportunity and just have a think about some others for you as well.
That's a really good answer. I can relate to that. It's a good answer because I can relate to it, like reminding me.
Well, there you go. We've got a common thing. We're buddies. We're linked in this now.
Yeah.
So Make that happen in your storyboard.
Like I wasn't aware that was happening, but when I think back to the books I've read, like that does happen. So thank you for bringing that up. That is good. Vic?
I am not sure of my answer.
That's okay. I do have a second question.
Hold on, before you, because if it's not linked, I can come back to it if you want more tips on that.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you. Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, all good. I'm just going into my Audible and I'll find some, I need the inspiration from the actual books. Where is my, all right, the first book that is there, why did it resonate, is saw myself in the character, had a lifestyle that I wanted to pursue, or was experiencing life or achieving outcomes that I wanted for myself. The next one is interests and similar interests is what I mean. Sorry, like curiosities that are aligned to myself, my personal interests. The other one was like a role model. So a role model on a hard journey and how they demonstrated resilience and love and what else did they demonstrate? Just overcoming very challenging things and not letting it impact them. And it's a story of hope as well. And it just reinforced the value of, or the importance of hope, that even in the hardest circumstances, hope can get you through it and allow you to survive. And in this instance, it was a life or death kind of thing. And that hope was actually what saved millions of people's lives, as opposed to not just one person. But I've also read stories where hope has been the thing, like true stories. These ones so far, or this one is a true story. So their power of hope and how that messaging came up in the mini stories within that bigger book of hope. One is, the next one is not an auto or a story, like a, I don't know what you call them. It's like a, kind of like a business. Wait, what's is fiction like storytelling or non-fiction?
Yeah, not true.
Yeah.
It's fiction.
Fiction is not true. Fiction is not true. So this is a non-fiction book. No, I don't. Now I'm confused.
Real. It's
Fiction
a real
is
book.
fake. Non-fiction is not fake.
Wow. Okay, never mind. This one is around.
Not fake.
What do you call it? Practical tips. Like I got it specifically to help me be better at my job, and it's very practical. It has questions, and like tools and like diagrams that I can literally pick up and use straight away in my job that will help me get better outcomes. The next one is kind of like, should I keep going? I actually have quite a lot here.
So good.
Been going mental on books recently. And they're all very different kind of books. So the next one is, I would say, a very huge movement in the world that set almost laws and value systems in the world. And I don't actually know much about it, but I know that it had a significant impact in history. And I was curious as to, this is about, it's like the manifesto of those, the rules or the book of guides of those sorts of things. So I was curious as to what are those guides, because whether it was right or wrong, which I actually don't know if it's right or wrong, and I'm still going through the book, but going into it, I didn't know if it was a good thing for the human race or a bad thing. And I still don't know that. But I was curious because I know that millions of people have followed this kind of lifestyle or whatever. So I wanted to know what were the rules that they set, that, and how might they have resonated, because potentially they resonate to me, but I don't know, they've resulted in a really bad thing in the world. So I was just curious like what they might be. The next one was a kind of imagination. I specifically got it to think differently, but it is a story, a child's story. And I was just curious about reading something that I've never read before. And it was very unusual for me, very outside my thinking, very outside anything I'd ever watch or anything like that on TV. So I was challenging my thinking, was my motivation for picking this book. But in it, I was able to see transferable skills or transferable values that resonated. And that's what made me get to the end of the story. And the story is about like it's a kid's book, but there's like relationships, there's, you know, be your authentic self, there's adults versus kids and kids versus adults. It's a futuristic book. Okay, other ones are kind of the same that has come up so far. Another one to challenge my thinking was a book about something that I would say everyone will say this is the wrong thing. Humans should not do this. But it's actually saying that it's okay to do that. So I was curious about when I've never heard someone say this thing shouldn't be done by people. I was curious why this author's come out and published a book saying the complete opposite. And the points are made in a very factual way, and they absolutely make sense, and I can see that perspective. So whether it's right or wrong, the empathy to see what everyone in the world that I've heard so far says is right, and then I see this one person completely saying it's wrong, and I see place for both of them, even though it doesn't agree with me. And I think maybe what's beneficial from a learning perspective there is framing it from the thing of like, it's okay to disagree with this, but take on it your own. Like, I know we do posts like that sometimes, where like, here's an example, you might not like it or you might love it, or whatever resonates, go make it your own. So I think that's what I got from that book.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. Random stories that are the opposite to my life. I think that, yeah, it's all just coming down to, I don't know, I could keep going, but like, I guess at the core of it is like a curiosity for me is a big thing that I have. And I want a curiosity of like things that I agree with, things that I'm not sure of, things that I don't agree with, things that are unknown of me. And that's why probably the reading list there was so diverse. If I look at it, there's not a common, like they're not all the same type of book, or yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Oh, that's really cool. Was there a way that they were written? Like, I'm thinking, was it not too complex, the way the words that were used and everything, or was it?
Yeah, I think I definitely am. Even when I pick YouTube videos and stuff, it's like a really good question. It depends on my mindset that I'm in. Sometimes I'm like, I'm in veg out state, I'm in entertainment state, I'm in like, I've had a good coffee, I'm ready to learn, or I'm ready to get lost in a story and zone out, or I'm ready to like learn because I need to apply this sort of thing. So I pick my thing based on the why, and the why to me is very clear on the what I'm trying to achieve by being in the book or watching the video or choosing to learn something.
Yeah,
so
good one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. That was really good. I'm going to listen back to this before I storyboard. It's really useful.
Cool. I love that you're like thinking this way to get stimulus for your instructional design. It's really cool.
Woo. All right. Thank you so much, Kim. Top that, Vic.
I have nothing to add. I just want to know what books Kim's reading. I'm going to ask her after.
I think I picked one. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Man's Search for Meaning.
No, but that was that is the Book of Hope that I was like, and there's another one. That one was The Happiest Man Alive. It's also a story about I think he's Jew in a Jew living through the World War II experience.
Oh, okay.
So similar sort of story, but it's Do you want some of them?
Cool. Huh?
I can tell you. No, I'll tell you afterwards, actually. Yeah. It'll take too long. I've gone through like 20 books there.
I do have another part of the question, but I think we've run out of time.
No,
so
I'm okay as long as it's not going to impact other people.
Fine with me.
Go for at least 5 minutes.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, cool. All right. So my second question is to think about your favorite games. So it can be like computer game, a video game, a board game, a card game, any type of game. What are your favorite games and why? What is it about them that makes you enjoy them?
Mate, I love that you're asking these questions.
These are not my types of questions.
I love it from the perspective of I know she's going to apply this and I can't wait to see the storyboard.
Yeah.
The first thing that came to mind is it's about like I'll only play a game for human connectedness. So it's to bring connection with other humans.
Love that.
And to enjoy that quality time together. I'm not a gamer anymore. I played games when I was a kid, board games or computer games or whatever. That's when I was doing it for entertainment. My entertainment, I've now evolved. I get it from different places, so I don't play games. But I guess if I think about games, I'm going to go to skateboarding because essentially that's a game. Is sense of accomplishment, a goal, creativity, problem solving, the experience itself, because I tend to be outside in like air that I like, fresh air, and sometimes I'm also with other people and I enjoy that sense of community as well. So I think it's probably there's a bit of social learning that comes into it for me around this game stuff. That's what I got so far.
Love that.
Did you have anything from your game life?
No, I'd say I'm similar to you. Like I don't really play games unless it's like a social thing, like just something to do with friends.
Yeah. Okay, so
Otherwise,
beer pong. Are you only playing it because everyone else is playing, or do you want to win and drink all the alcohol?
No, I'm not a very competitive person. Like I'll play games, but I don't care about winning. It's more about like
What about drinking games? There's a clear goal for them.
No, usually drinking games you don't want to win because you don't want to lose because then you have to drink. That's just a social thing for me, I think.
I'd say when it comes down to the mechanics of games, one thing that I hate time delaying me. So when I have to wait for something to load and pop up and float on screen, or like a little loading sign, or like points fucking accumulating, I do not have time for that. Like I'm not playing for that, or I'm not participating for that, the game mechanics there. To me, that's a waste of time. It actually probably is one of the reasons why I don't delve into games. I think it's also like that makes me relate it to apps that take too long because they have that sort of stuff in there are getting deleted off my phone. I'm in there to take a photo and it's like click photo saved, not click the photo and now you have to click, do you want to apply the filter? It's like if I want to apply the filter, I'm going to go find that filter. So I'm getting very passionate about this. Jesus.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's interesting because some people love like the theatrics and the story behind it. Like I remember Dad playing video games. It'd be like, it was almost like a movie. Like it'd be like 15 minutes of the characters doing stuff and then you go into the game. And he used to love that. So I think it is like, it's so different for everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's so important. Like it's the opportunity to choose how you learn. Like even on Netflix, it's like skip intro. Like the amount of times that I'm skipping 30 seconds ahead in a movie or something because I'm like, I don't want to see the credits. Like I don't want to see who produced the movie. I'm like, get me into the movie. That's what I'm here for. But then I know like your dad and I know someone else that fucking they will sit there and watch that 15-minute movie of like Red Dead Redemption, the guy like going on his horse, and I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, they love it. It's crazy. Oh, it's like, it makes me think for learning solutions, like we potentially could incorporate things like that for the people that do like it, but have the skip button so people can if people are like us, where we're like, we just want to get to the point, you can skip that and still like have the information that you need. But there's an option for people who would like to like really immerse themselves into the story to do that additional part.
Definitely. But I feel like that'd be a good question back at you, Hannah, because I feel like you do resonate with like the cool kind of video intros and things like that. Like you're one to sit through that. So what is that for you? Why put yourself through that pain? No, I'm only joking.
It does depend on my stress levels. Like if I need something done really quickly, like I have like a task due and I need like a video to help me do it, then like I'm less inclined. But if I am like, say, learning how to do something, like learning how to do like a graphic design technique or something, I don't mind those intros. And I think because like I do love finding people and things that are like different and interesting, like I enjoy that, and then being able to like show other people and be like, look how like cool this guy is, or how like weird this guy is. Like I remember there's like this there's a guy who does like watch reviews, and Dad and his friend like absolutely loved him. So like the intent at the beginning was to find out about different watches and like what was good about them, what was bad about them, what the mechanics of them were and everything. But he is such a weird out there person, and he gets like really passionate but really angry, and he'll like scream, and like it's just like absolute anger about a watch if he doesn't like it, and it's really really funny. So like things like that, I'm like, that is hilarious. Like I'm learning about the watch, and like this guy is hilarious. Like it's so not expected, and it makes me want to go back and see it more, because I'm like waiting for that next like dopamine rush of like, when's he going to do something? When's he going to like yell? Or so there is a part of me that enjoys that. But that's like the entertainment part. I guess it's like incorporating entertainment into the learning or the thing that I actually need to do.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would say.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Can I just.
Yeah, you go.
Say to the people that are listening or watching, like, I think it's a freaking amazing exercise to do, is to reflect either first of all on what has been said from our conversation and think about how you're going to apply that to the training that you create, or go figure out like what are the books that you're reading, what are the games you're playing, and take that time to reflect. Like book it into your calendar now, some reflection time, so you can think about how you might implement that in the next training course you design.
Yeah, that's a good point. Vic, before we finish up, do you like Monkey Ball?
I haven't played it like 20 plus years probably, but I don't think I liked it when I played it as a kid.
That's what I thought. Why did you not like it?
It was too hard. Like I couldn't really play it because you'd just like die straight away.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's good to know. That's like a difficulty thing. If it's that hard that you literally you don't even have a chance of getting to the end, then people lose motivation. It's like that perfect level of difficulty where it's hard enough that people have to put effort in, but not so hard that they can't do it, but then not so easy that they're bored. Yeah, cool. All right, awesome. Well, thank you both of you. That was very insightful. Thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode of Studio Insights. Don't forget to check out our human-centered design cohort. It's going to be epic. It's in the description below. You can find out all about it, everything that it includes, and when the next cohort starts. So check it out, and we'll see you for the next Studio Insights episode.
What's up, awesome human? Thank you on behalf of myself and the Belvista Studios team for continuously choosing to learn with us. We really appreciate it. If the tips and the insights and the context resonate with you and you want to take your skills to the next level, or you want to make your life way easier, you will love our Creator Hub. The Creator Hub is a place for people like you and us. Basically, it's the stuff that we use internally at Belvista Studios, and then we just share it publicly with you. The Creator Hub is created by instructional designers for instructional designers, and what you'll love there at the moment is we've got a quiz, Could I Be a Better Instructional Designer?, that has so much tips in the feedback if you're interested in human-centered design or just taking your skills to the next level in terms of the solutions you're creating and the problems you want to solve. But in there as well, aren't we cute? That's us. But we've got the coaching courses freebies, give us gratitude, and also we've got some templates. And basically they're always around the lens of learning experience design, instructional design, and e-learning. So a human-centered design focus is very much what we're about at Belvista Studios. So putting your learners at the heart of a solution and creating something for their needs. So there's the human-centered design stuff, and then we've also got the business stuff. So this is the stuff they don't teach you about when you want to become a freelancer or a consultant in the instructional design world. So go check it out. The link is in the description. You can check out everything that is available for you. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Continuously invest in your skills. You will be rewarded as an instructional designer. Share this stuff, share it with other people, because when we are better instructional designers, we create better solutions that create better humans, that create a better world. So we have a very important role, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Have an awesome day.